safer world is possible, and together we can and will make it happen. Thank you.
When you show up in community, you find that group that makes you feel like home, but oftentimes you also find yourself again.
Hello everyone and welcome to Sussexful. I'm your host, Emma, and this channel is all about love, truth, and standing strong with Prince Harry, Meghan, Archie, and little Lilibet. Here, we celebrate the Sussex family and support them against the endless spin and clickbait of the UK media. Recently, the press has been pushing wild stories, twisting events, ignoring the real protests in London, and trying to use access to Archie and Lilibet as their golden ticket. But Meghan has stood firm with courage and grace, protecting her children and her family. So if you believe in fairness, kindness, and supporting Harry, Meghan, Archie, and Lilibet, you're in the right place. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to join our Sussexful family. So the UK media has gone into overdrive, desperately spinning the narrative after those massive protests erupted in London during the US president's visit. It's painfully obvious that the press is simply after one thing: access to the Sussex children. The UK media's relentless pursuit of access to the Sussex children has become, honestly, increasingly transparent. In their desperation for, salacious headlines, they've resorted to these blatant attempts to shift the blame onto Meghan, painting her as the obstacle to reconciliation within the royal family. However, their manipulative tactics have really backfired, as the public has grown weary of the media's biased and sensationalized coverage. Meghan's firm stance in protecting her children's privacy has only served to rattle the likes of William and Kate, who seem, increasingly rattled by her bold and principled approach. Prince Harry's recent visit to the UK was marked by the stark absence of his brother, Prince William. While Harry was in the country, William did not even stay in the same city, creating a noticeable distance between the once inseparable siblings. This disconnect has only fueled speculation about the ongoing tensions within the royal family, with the media eagerly pouncing on any perceived rift between the brothers. However, the true nature of their relationship remains shrouded in secrecy, as both Harry and William have chosen to keep their personal matters private in the face of, intense public scrutiny. William's deep-rooted jealousy and hatred towards his brother Prince Harry, and especially Meghan Markle, is glaringly evident. The UK media has been relentless in their attempts to shift the blame onto Meghan, but this malicious spin has backfired spectacularly. Meghan's bold stance in protecting her children, Archie and Lilibet, from the invasive media attention has left William and Kate utterly rattled. Despite Harry's recent visit to the UK just a couple of weeks ago, William didn't even bother to stay in the same city, further underscoring the rift between the brothers. Now, in a desperate attempt to regain some semblance of control, William is reaching out an olive branch, hoping to lure Archie and Lilibet to the UK for schooling. But this transparent ploy to gain access to the Sussex children is nothing more than a transparent attempt to appease his own jealousy and hatred. William's sudden invitation for Archie and Lilibet to attend school in the UK is nothing more than a transparent attempt to manipulate the media narrative. After years of hostility and public attacks against his own brother, it is clear that William is now feeling the pressure from the public backlash against the royal family's treatment of Harry and Meghan. This olive branch is not a genuine overture of reconciliation, but rather a calculated ploy to make the Sussexes appear uncooperative should they decline the offer. However, Meghan and Harry have rightfully prioritized the safety and well-being of their children, denying William the PR victory he so desperately craves. This transparent maneuver only further highlights the deep-seated jealousy and animosity that William harbors towards his younger brother, which the UK media is all too eager to amplify for their own sensationalist agendas. Meghan has taken a firm and unapologetic stance in her decision to keep her children, Archie and Lilibet, out of the public eye and away from the intrusive glare of the British media. This bold move has clearly rattled Prince William and Kate, who had seemingly hoped to have more access to the Sussex children. The royal couple's attempts to shift the blame onto Meghan for their own inability to forge a closer relationship with their niece and nephew have backfired spectacularly, only further highlighting the deep divisions within the once-united brothers. Meghan's unwavering commitment to protecting her family's privacy in the face of relentless media scrutiny has proven that she will not bend to the whims of the palace or the press, solidifying her reputation as a fierce and fearless advocate for her loved ones. The sheer absurdity of the situation is, honestly, almost comical. The UK media have stooped to new lows, painting an utterly distorted picture and spinning outright lies in a desperate attempt to stir up controversy and, well, generate clicks. Their unabashed efforts to gain access to the Sussex children are so transparent, it's laughable. Prince Harry's recent trip to the UK clearly ruffled some feathers, with reports of William's jealousy and animosity towards his brother and sister-in-law. Now, the Cambridges are attempting to extend an olive branch, likely in a calculated move to get Archie and Lilibet to the UK. But Meghan's bold stand in protecting her children has clearly left them rattled. The media's shameless attempts to shift the blame onto Meghan have completely backfired, only further exposing their malicious intentions. The UK media's attempts to shift the blame onto Meghan for their own failings have, honestly, backfired spectacularly. Despite their best efforts to demonize the Duchess of Sussex, the public has seen through their transparent ploys and, rallied in support of her. Rather than swaying public opinion, the media's relentless attacks have only served to further highlight their own biases and agendas. Meghan's bold stand in protecting her children from the media's intrusive glare has clearly rattled the likes of William and Kate, who now find themselves on the defensive as the true villains of the piece. The people have spoken, and they are just not buying the media's spin. The UK media's relentless pursuit of access to the Sussex children is nothing more than transparent spin, driven by a desperate attempt to generate clicks and sensationalize a non-story. Their constant claims of olive branches and reconciliation attempts are nothing but thinly veiled ploys to pry into the private lives of Harry, Meghan, Archie, and Lilibet. This obvious bias and agenda-driven reporting is, honestly, an insult to the intelligence of the public, who can see through the media's transparent machinations. Meghan's steadfast stance in protecting her children's privacy has clearly rattled the establishment, prompting them to resort to shifting blame and spreading misinformation in a last-ditch effort to regain control of the narrative. But the people see through this charade, and the media's tactics have only backfired, further eroding the trust of the public. The streets of London have been ablaze with the passionate cries of protesters who have taken to the streets in droves to voice their opposition to the visit of the U.S. president. The air is thick with the energy of dissent, as citizens from all walks of life have come together to make their voices heard, united in their belief that this leader's policies and actions are at odds with the values they hold dear. The sound of chanting and the sight of banners waving in the wind serve as a powerful reminder that the people of the UK will not remain silent in the face of what they perceive as injustice and overreach from across the Atlantic.